Hola mis queridos, ¿cómo estás, mi Alicia? Hello my kittens, how are you? My name is Allison, and today we are playing Nancy Drew Ghost of Thornton Hall Mobile Edition. I am super excited to be playing this yet again. So, I may have been a little bit confused in the previous video, and I tend to be. I am going to be with the mobile version just because this is the first time I am playing it blind. I have yet to play the entire game of it, and I think I'm going to keep it that way just because there's no way for me to do a full play of it on my own time on a separate profile. You see what I mean? So, and that is what happens when you click a new game with this specific Nancy Drew mobile game, basically because it's a mobile game. Whereas with the other Nancy Drew games that are on PC or Mac, you actually get an option of you actually do get to go to a separate menu, which we do get to do at the beginning of the game here on the mobile version, just not right now because we're on a game right on a current position of a gameplay. I'm stuttering. Anyway, every time you hit a new game on a Nancy Drew video game, you get a choice of 2 detective levels. There's Master Sleuth and there's Amateur Sleuth. Of course, in the older games, it used to be called Amateur Detective and Master Detective. And I think there are actually a couple of games where there was a third detective level. Of course, there really wasn't much difference between the second and third level. Of course, it has been a long time since I played those games, so. And I believe there is a Nancy Drew dude on YouTube that probably has done the difference between the two on his channel. Anyway, if you are actually curious, Her Interactive is the company that makes the Nancy Drew video game series, and they are a little different when it comes to bonus edition games. But with the mobile game, they did it a little bit differently, just because it's not technically a bonus edition, but it's not technically a normal game either. You are able to get phone charms for Nancy's cell phone, but there are no mini games on the cell phone. So it's kind of like an in-between version of it, I guess, hence the mobile game. It makes sense somewhat. Anywho, Her Interactive bases all of their Nancy Drew video games on the Nancy Drew book series, and that book series has been going on since 1930. Yes, the book series is that old. So, there have been 2 companies that kind of tossed the torch to each other. Originally it was Grosset and Dunlop, and now it's Simon & Schuster. But both companies basically like to restart the book series every so often with a new binding cover, art, and basically new books. Not just for grammar and punctuation, but sometimes to revise the stories, if not new stories. And with each binding, the cover art is always something different. And sometimes they actually rename the Nancy Drew series just to make sure people know the difference between the bindings, instead of just saying, hey, there's a new binding for the Nancy Drew series. They wanted to make sure that people knew the difference between they wanted to make sure people knew the difference. And to let you all know, Ghost of Thornton Hall is based off of Uncivil Acts from the Nancy Drew Girl Detective, and it's actually a really good book. I've read it myself, I actually own the book myself, and at the end of the video, I will be directing you to a path of how you can get a free copy of the book yourself, which is pretty exciting, and I will talk about the book more at the end of the video. That is, if there is enough time. Sometimes I get on a little bit too long when I go into the gaming portion of Ghost of Thornton Hall. I love the game too much. I love the storyline of the game too much. Alright, so I do want to mention, let's go ahead and take this off. I do want to mention that this particular mobile game requires iOS 7 or later, and you do get an hour's worth of free gameplay. After that, you have to pay $5.99 to get the rest. And if you're wondering, it is compatible with iPads. That is how I am playing it. And if you're actually curious, this game did come out April 2014, and I think that might be it as far as everything. I could tell you about the game itself, the plot of it, but I think that'd be defeating the purpose considering we're just about to start playing the previous, playing the game, continuing from the previous video. And that reminds me, if anything, anything in this video does not look familiar, it is because you have not been keeping up. Please, please, please check the description box below. There's the previous video as well as the playlist. I recommend the playlist because it will have everything that I've done so far with Nancy Drew, Ghost of Thornton Hall, Oi, and I think I actually managed to have a shorter intro. That is freaking awesome. Okay, oh, that's right. There are certain features that you can actually access. I do want to note that with the volume, you actually have to use your own mobile device for that. It's always different. If it's the way my iPad is set up right now is just a little different, just because I'm so used to having it the other way around. For some reason, the way the game opens up, it's upside down. Of course, it could be that I'm using the iPad in a different direction that it's supposed to be, but hey. But yeah, you can't choose a volume for each specific thing. You're controlling the volume for all three, which is a little bit weird. And then there's the extras, there's awards and credits. Awards is actually pretty much everything that you get with the regular game as well. And that includes Charmed, that is the phone charms, and I probably will be trying to show you where some of those are. I believe we might have 2 or 3 already. Let's go ahead and get into the game. Alright, let's check. Alright, I love this. Every time you open the game, the mobile game, to continue your previous play, this happens every single time, which is helpful. Getting organized. The task list tracks your objectives. To mark a task done, tap on the checkbox. Tapping the question mark gives you a hint for that task. The journal keeps notes of observations relevant to the case. This is actually a feature that Her Interactive added on game number 28, Ghost of Thornton Hall, and the rest of the games after that, which is pretty nice. I really like that they did that. And I don't think they have it for Midnight in Salem though. But I'm going to go through the task list just to make sure.
Haven't done. Did that? Still have to do that.
Okay, so there is something that I forgot to do in this room before we summon Charlotte. And it's checking this out. Like, what the butts? How come I never... Can I not? Okay. But hey, there's the pennies. So now that we have the pennies, let's actually go over here.
Time to recharge the battery.
Heck yeah. Let's pull out the oranges. Because I believe the method that we read the book, yeah, spark hint, this will help us out seeing the little sparkles. I really like the way this is set up. I really enjoy that Her Interactive have this like interactive thing for the mobile games. Not a lot of mobile games have that. And I think they're doing that specifically just because we can click and touch and drag. That's pretty cool. We need the nails. Oh, come on. There we go. And then...
Alright, let's see if all those oranges did the trick.
Alrighty. So now we just gotta leave that alone.
It's not charged yet.
Yeah. To let it charge. And this is actually where we got the useful tip of what we needed to find to... We basically had to choose which one. Oh, and there's a photo from one of the contests. Nice. Her Interactive likes to do contests, a bunch of different contests, and usually the photos that are given from those in those contests they use in their next game. And you know, the people who enter in photos, they're aware of their rights of what happens to those photos. So, all right. Yep. All right. roses are red, ghosts aren't real, come on already, Thorntons, what's your deal? Fire is hot, night is dark, look for Charlotte in the park. Rude. Oh my gosh. Okay, let's take this seriously.
Fire so red, night so black. Dear sweet Charlotte, please come back. What's going on? Where are you taking me?
There are death scenes within the game, by the way.
Tell me, who are you?
Nancy, I'm here to help Jesslyn.
Give me a reason to let you live. Mind you, a good one.
What?
One reason to spare.
Ooh, I
Give it to me
like
now.
that.
The spirits are growing impatient with my mercy.
Ooh, I like that. The way because Nancy is blindfolded, her voice, heart. Sorry, I almost spoiled who it was. This woman's voice is like going back and forth from my right ear to my left ear. It's like really cool. I like that. I like that they did that. And this, I'm gonna choose the top one.
Me.
That's
help me find Jesslyn or get out of the way.
Very good. Remove the blindfold.
Just who are you?
Harper.
Can I trust you? Can you be trusted?
Well, that
Well, that
depends.
depends.
Can you be trusted?
That's a no now, isn't it? You'll be wanting to know why I am hiding under the house.
That would be at the top of my list of questions, yes.
Yeah,
It's because I don't want anyone up there to find me.
Why not?
It is undeniably frigid here, cold as the crypts themselves. I'll build a fire, and the fire will build some smoke, and the smoke will build some rain.
Are you ignoring my question?
Not ignoring, no. Elongating the moments in between the asking and the hearing, pausing for effect.
I love her.
Okay. Could you tell me
Freaking
now?
awesome.
The moment, hon. Ahem. It's because I'm a grandly unbalanced sociopath with delusions of grandeur and a history of erratic behavior and violent tendencies. My family resents me. They have publicly said that I'm a freak. People in the town point and stare. The neighborhood children used to call me Witch Lady until my dedication to the ironic led me to bake cookies for the sweet darlings. But it was my love of the dramatic reversal that won out in the end, and I threw the little runts down a well.
You what?
Oh, I'd never do such a thing. But it would be funny. Not funny, haha, but funny. Ah! Help, I'm in a well! So that's me. Tell me about you. I bet you're fascinating.
Yikes.
Oh, wait, shut it. I forgot the most important thing. Do not tell anyone I am down here. If you do, I'll just do something wrong. Here, take this.
Alrighty dighty. Let's see what she's giving us.
Go now.
Alright, we can't. I'm sorry, what? I'm sorry, what? Woman? Woman, you cannot do that to us. Come on. Alright, alright.
I should look for those portraits.
Definitely. To find me again, look through the portraits. And that is basically... Hello? That is basically... That scythe, by the way, is what is normally used for our death scene at that door. I wonder...
That didn't sound good.
Okay, never mind. It's still there. Interesting. Can I not?
The letters must be what that note was referring to.
Oh, I literally have to
Right, now to find all the others.
touch and drag every single painting. That is cool. Of course, for some reason it doesn't show it. Oh, I'm missing a painting. Where am I missing? Where do I find that painting? Whoa. Hello. There's no. Oh, freaking kidding me! All right, well, hang on. Um, you know what? Why not? Let's just do this one. Uh, I guess this means I'm cutting the video short. Dang it. And don't worry about this. This is no spoiler. Well, actually, it kind of is. I'm trying to work on a book. But this particular book, I'm just having to rewrite the whole thing basically. Villain is not villainous enough. And I'm basically having to rewrite the beginning of it just because there isn't enough character development or enough. Eh. Well, whatever. Anyway, it's sad that the game crashed there. But I'll look through. I'll figure out where to find that painting. Um, it's bugging me that I don't know what happened to that painting. But this is the second time that the game has crashed on me. By the way, the first time it crashed was in the first video. It's interesting that it crashed now. And I'm betting it's because they're supposed to. Oh, I'm betting it was because of the haunting. Because all the other hauntings that have happened so far were we've had like little black glitch screen, black glitch pop-ups a little bit, kind of like a little warning that uh-oh, this isn't supposed to happen with the screen. Need to go away. Bye-bye. And this time it was like, oh, that happened. No, overload. Bye. All right. Well, let's go ahead and get into the book. Why is this so large? The book, which is Uncivil Acts, the BAM, number 10 for the Nancy Drew Girl Detective series. It's actually a really good book, but it's been a long time since I've read it, so I don't really know like how to describe the book in detail. So I instead will be reading you a description of it, just because I actually do need to read that book again. Um, and like I said, I do own the book now, so I do own the book, so I'll reread it, let you guys know. Um, anyway, Uncivil Acts, a Civil War reenactment should be fun, right? Not in our town. It feels like war fever's taken over. The tension started to build when we all chose sides. Confederates and Union sympathizers never did mix, and if that wasn't enough to heat things up, someone started to secretly dig large holes in the battlefield. Pretty odd and very suspicious. Is someone waging a little war of their own and trying to cheat? And if so, the bigger question is, why? And if my memory is correct, of course I could be wrong, but as I said, if my memory is correct, when I found out who the villain was, and I think I might have figured it out at the beginning of the book, I'm like, wait, is it possible it could be this person? And then at the end of the book, when we find out who the culprit is, I'm like, okay, so it was that person. But how they did it is like so out of so un unparalleled or just so unconventional that it's just like, wait, what? How did you even figure this out, Nancy? What I really like about the Nancy Drew Girl Detective series is that all of the books are in first person narration. You actually get to experience Nancy's thought process. You actually get to read these books in Nancy's POV, her perspective on things. It's actually really nice if you're into first person narration books. I don't know how to explain it in full detail about it, but I actually really like it, especially when it comes to a certain book, which I'm terrible remembering what the title is, but I think it's called Bad Times Big Crimes, or is it Big Times Bad Crimes? It's one of the two. But it brings the reality to it, the first person narration, having to experience it through Nancy's perspective. Anywho, if you are actually wondering how to get a copy of Uncivil Acts yourself, you can actually check the description box below. There is a link, and I brag about this website. I've I have bragged about this website several times in the previous Nancy Drew gameplays, just because it's such a wonderful website. The business is called Internet Archives. They actually have two websites. I'm sure they have more than two, but there are two websites I am familiar with that are basically library databases. One is archive.org and the other is openlibrary.org. Both work in looking up Nancy Drew books. The best one to choose for looking up Nancy Drew books is Open Library, just because it has more of the Nancy Drew books there. Because every time I try to look for a specific Nancy Drew book, you actually have to be specific with the title of it in the search bar engine, which is pretty frustrating. And then you find out they don't have it, and I'm like, okay, let's look on Open Library, and they do have it. I'm like, okay. But I mean, that's just one of the downsides of it. But other than that, it's a great website. All you got to do is give them your email address. When you create an account, that is it. And you can basically borrow up to 10 books, if I remember correctly, because I did check the websites within the past month or two. And you are actually able to borrow those books 1 hour at a time. If you can't do an hour for one book, you can borrow it for 14 days. That is 2 freaking weeks. Oh my gosh, that is incredible. I love that. So that is the kicker there. Oh, I do want to mention, I should have mentioned this when that haunting happened with Nancy, but basically what happened there was a hallucination with Nancy. And when you have a hallucination like that and there's actually a gas heater in the basement, which we did just see behind Harper, it is most likely that there is carbon monoxide poisoning happening. And there's actually a huge list of symptoms with carbon monoxide poisoning. Do not take this lightly. If ever you experience any of the symptoms, please call the proper authorities. Do not wait a moment longer. And these symptoms are dull headache, weakness, dizziness, nausea or vomiting, shortness of breath, confusion, and blurred vision, loss of consciousness, chest pain, fainting, hyperactivity, impaired judgment, which did happen the previous night for Nancy. If when actually no, that hasn't happened yet. Shock, low blood pressure, and rapid and or abnormal heartbeat. Yikes. I think we might have actually heard that heartbeat when that hallucination happened. Oof. So yeah, she has a good case of she is her carbon monoxide poisoning just got pretty high up there, but considering she just got to the source of where it's coming from. And for Harper, it is even worse because she is right next to that heater all the time. She is in that basement all the time. I oh, I feel so sorry for her. That is frustrating. Anyway, you now know how to get a free copy of Uncivil Acts. I hope you enjoyed that book. And I think that is pretty much it. I gotta get going, everyone. Just because I've been talking long enough, my throat is getting sore, and I got a lot of things to do this weekend. Uh, Basically, because my sister wants a lot to happen for Thanksgiving, and I honestly don't know if it is gonna happen. I hope it does, though. For the sake of having a good Thanksgiving. And for that, I do wish you all a good Thanksgiving. There might not be a video this Wednesday just because of Thanksgiving. I will try to do a video though. If there is none, I will let you all know. And with that, I will bid you all adieu. I hope I helped you out at least a little bit in this video. If not, I'm not doing my job. And I hope you all enjoyed this video as much as I did. If so, smash that like button like a kitten would. And if you're just now tuning into this channel and you're not subscribed, go ahead and click that ugly red subscribe button, make it that beautiful gray, as well as that bell icon right next to it. That'll notify you of all the videos that I do, which are on Tuesday, sorry, I keep saying Tuesdays, which are on Wednesdays, 6 p.m. Central, and Sundays, 4:30 p.m. Central. I hope you all have a great morning, afternoon, evening, or nights, wherever you are in the world. I am Sweet Rescue Rabbit, saying goodbye. Stay awesome and stay on YouTube. Me and my oopsies. I love it. Yeah, you just gotta love that, don't ya?